Well, the Tassie election results still up in the air as we wait to see whether the Liberals' Jeremy Rockcliffe or Labor's Dean Winter will pull together a government. But both parties committed to a new stadium at Macquarie Point in the lead up to the campaign. It's going to be primarily for the Tassie Devils AFL team, which is due to start in 2028. But its future could come into play, this stadium, as negotiations continue about forming government. Let me bring in Tim Harcourt. You might know him as the airport economist, but he's now also the host of Footynomics, the economics of sport. And Tim joins me from Sydney. Good to talk to you, Tim. I know you've been all over this, speaking to all the players. Is there any doubt that in these post-election negotiations the stadium could disappear?
No, I think the stadium precinct is going to happen, Chris. And really, when you think about the election results, 70% of Tasmanians voted for pro-stadium candidates, Labor and Liberal, but also David O'Byrne, who you remember was the former Labor leader who ran as an independent. He actually got a higher vote than Dean Winter. So the anti-stadium people have lost their seats, and for the most part, there's been a big swing to the government and a big swing to David O'Byrne. So I think the mandate is obviously for the stadium, and with it, the Tassie Devils.
The other query, I suppose, the other idea that's been bandied about is a cheaper stadium, one without a roof on it. And, you know, the weather is pretty savage down there in Hobart, and the game on the weekend between your mob, Port Adelaide and Hawthorn, was very wintry. A lot of people say that proved the case as to why the Hobart Stadium needs to have a roof. Tell us about your thoughts on that, and also about the economic impact of having a facility like this in the capital.
First of all, Chris, I'm not a Port Adelaide supporter. I'm a North Adelaide supporter, the Mighty Roosters, and I liked your piece on Barry Robran. Look, I think that the point is that it's not just going to be for AFL. It's going to be for concerts, for conventions, for other sports, cricketing included. And so as the head of Stadiums Tasmania, James Avery, says that they want to actually use it for 300 events a year and bring in the arts and the creative part of the precinct. So that's the reason for the roof. And the other thing too, Chris, is that in the election campaign, people said, oh, this is the AFL imposing this stadium upon Tasmania. If you actually follow the task force for the Tasmanian team, they actually wanted the stadium as part of their economic model for the future of the team. And I interviewed both Brendan Gale and Grant O'Brien on Footynomics, and they're quite clear that they wanted to use the stadium and the precinct and the High Performance Centre as one of the drivers of the sort of economic and social impact of the Tassie Devils when they come into the AFL.
I would have thought we've seen test cases on this. I would have thought the redevelopment of Adelaide Oval, the new Optus Stadium in Perth, even the new footy stadium in Sydney shows that these stadiums, being close to the city centre, being used for other events other than sport, rock concerts and the like, that they do bring broad economic benefit.
That's right. In fact, I had Peter Malinauskas, the South Australian Premier, on the show Footynomics. He is a Port Adelaide supporter and an Adelaide Uni footballer, and he actually said there was great opposition, particularly from SACA, from the Cricket Association, to the Adelaide Oval redevelopment. Now, as you know, Chris, when you go back to Adelaide for Gather Round, everyone loves the Adelaide Oval, and Adelaide has been able to build a new hotel at Adelaide Oval, several new hotels in the city, and they've been able to build a lot of events around that Adelaide Oval redevelopment. So Hobart with Salamanca, with the city, with all the restaurants and the great hotels, they've got a real opportunity with the stadium and the precinct together to really build some really great economic activity for the state. And I mean, the AFL package also provides assistance to Launceston, Burnie, Penguin to rebuild all the rest of the state as well. Yeah,
well, thanks for all that analysis and good luck with Footynomics on Ticker. People can look that up. I knew you were a North Adelaide man. I thought you were a bit on the power as well in the AFL. I'm glad you're not, because showdown week and the Adelaide Crows will have them. Don't you worry about that. Great to talk to you. Great to talk to you, Tim Harcourt.